Welcome back, everybody. We're putting tires on the 250L. I got about an hour before I have to go. The right side is a 24 millimeter wrench, and the left side of the axle is a 19 millimeter. Just shove that axle forward until you can slip the chain off. Don't forget to push the caliper in as hard as you can here. Put your knee against it, and that just spreads the brake pads apart just enough so when you're putting the tire back on, it goes super easy. I had the bike up on this mount, and I was about to take it off, and I was like, hold on, we can change the tires up here. Front wheel, he's got 10 millimeters. Little pinch bolts on the axle. Loosen those up. Now, I still haven't bought the 14 millimeter hex to get the axle out, so I got this, vice grip and a bolt situation going here. I got to get that figured out before we have a big dual sport ride. I got to have my toolkit figured out. Hopefully we'll get some good footage from that dual sport ride. Grab a core remover, take that core out, let all the air out of that tube. The crf250L doesn't come stock with a rim lock, so we'll be adding one of those. These new tires, a lot of the bikes I part out have these old crusty tires on them that are so hard. This bike's a 2020, and these are the stock tires. So easy to work with. Such a joy. Almost like they want to come off. I have a box of these used rim locks. You want to make sure you have the right size. The size of the rim's printed right on the side. So the width here is 2.15. It's kind of sad I'm putting a used rim lock in here. This bike's brand new. Only 600 miles. A friend of mine brought me these tubes a while back that he got at a yard sale. Ultra heavy duty. I think these are like 4 millimeters thick. Dual sport. I think they're going to be great. I went with the Tusk DSport tires. I like Tusk stuff. Oh, the DSport Adventure. You want to get some baby powder in there. Helps with the chafing and moisture. I like putting this tire soap on there. Really makes the job a lot easier. Got to be careful when it gets tight on that last little bead. I don't want to scratch my nice black wheels. Now over here where the bead lock is, just take two tire irons and walk it over. Now when you're here, push it back up there. Make sure that bead gets down. Now I start halfway between the valve stem and the bead lock. And these little bead buddies are really handy. They help quite a bit. And I'm going to go around away from the bead lock. But I don't know if it matters too much. You can go any direction you want. And just remember, you want that tire iron, you want it to feel like it's on metal. If the tube's kind of flipped over the rim, that's where you'll pinch it when that little hook is on the tube, not on the rim. Small bites. Lots of soap on the bead. You'll be done in no time. Make sure you look close around the rim and make sure the bead has seated all the way around. Most tires have a little ridge here, so it's pretty easy to see if the bead has come up all the way around the rim. And don't forget to tighten up your new/used rim lock. As far as rim locks, when you get a flat down in the bottom of a canyon and with the rear tire, that rim's just going to spin inside the tire and you'll never get out the canyon. So the rear, it's important to have a bead lock. These fresh tires, they just so easy to work with. Man, yeah, if your bike's newer than 1970, you don't need to be afraid of tackling some tires by yourself. They're DOT approved, so that's important for dual sports. You don't want to end up on the wrong side of the law. You know, I think the front tires are a little easier to do. So if you're tackling this for the first time yourself, go ahead and start with the front. So this is just a static balancer, I think. I think some of the fancier shops have a dynamic balancer where it's a motorized. But for the lower budget, I think these static balancers work great. And it spins, shows you where the heavy spot is. Bought a pack of these brass weights that go on the spoke. And I think they look a lot better than the stick-on weights. This one where I like. I got the big weights on there. This one took a lot more weight than I expected. But you can put the weights on either side and the tire doesn't move. I already like the way these tires look. To wipe down your axle spacers. Put a little fresh grease on them. Now this is where you find out if you remembered to press your brake calipers in. Now the guys doing the 6-day enduros, they have 15 minutes to do all their maintenance, I think, at the end of the day. So that's changing tires, doing whatever other maintenance you got to do, oil changes on your bike. Here I am, an hour in. The wheel spacers on the crf250L on the front are interchangeable. They're the same size, but that's not always the case on different makes and models. So make sure you take a good look. I can't just put this 2 pair of vice grips in my toolkit. I'm going to have to get the real tool before the ride. Look at this. I think that's going to be a really good dual sport tire for this. I'll have to do some testing and report back to you. I think I'll pack these old tubes as spares for our ride. And I got a new set of handlebars I think I'll put on before May. Can't decide about the bark busters. I like these stock ones. They look good. But those wraparound aluminum ones are pretty nice. A little more protection for your levers. Well, that's all for today. See you guys soon.